Let's take a look at those ingredients once again. Over there we've got the sea salt, some of that natural sea salt. I got a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, the 3 super duper Vidalia onions. Those are some big jumbo onions. They're extra sweet. Some Swanson's low sodium chicken broth, Lee & Perrins Worcestershire, the best brand that I know about, Heinz vinegar, apple cider vinegar, Grey Poupon country Dijon mix, some black pepper grinders sitting back there, and of course we got the sous vide honey with Kyle Petty and his dad waiting for the NASCAR fans down there in South Carolina, where the mustard-based sauce is king. While we're heating up the 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and the hardest part of this whole sauce recipe is probably just chopping those onions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all these other ingredients ready while we're heating up this oil. The person that gave me this recipe, Judy from South Carolina, told me your best bet is to saute the onions at the beginning of the recipe. What I'm going to do is I'm going to saute half of them. I've got 3 onions, so I chopped up 1 1/2. I'm going to saute half of the onions, and the rest I'm going to throw in after the sauce is on its way. So you got a mixture of some soft onions that you can tell are nice and flavorful, and also some crunchy onions just for the structure of the sauce. It looks like our oil's getting ready there. We got a little bit of a pop there. I'm going to drop in. That is 1 onion. And you can see this recipe uses a lot of onion. So we're back to the outdoor cooking world favorite of onion, beef, onion and pork. That's 1/2 onion right there. And we'll bring in another piece of this onion puzzle. Drop in another section of that onion. Like I said, I'm doing 1 1/2 onions. I'm sauteing this first section. Trying not to burn myself. Get that good and glassy. And we shall add other ingredients. As you can see, that's going to take a little while. Quarter cup of oil so far, 1 1/2 of those 3 large Vidalia onions. Doesn't look like a sauce recipe at all. Two or 3 minutes on the saute, 1/4 cup of oil, 1 1/2 onions till they get glossy. As you can see, the onions are starting to get glassy. So they're pretty well on their way to being sauteed. Let us add the next ingredient. And that next ingredient is that Grey Poupon. And it's already measured for me. I need a cup of prepared mustard. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in this entire 8 ounces of Grey Poupon. Grab my spatula. This little special mustard spatula. Now that's starting to smell good already. You can smell some of the vinegar from that Grey Poupon. Get as much of that into the recipe. Alright, I've added the mustard. Added a little Grey Poupon country style. Not quite as sharp as the regular smooth Grey Poupon. I'm going to drop that upside down. My next ingredient is, with that mustard, I now drop in ½ cup of that vinegar. And this you're going to, I wish you had smell-o-vision, because now you can really tell what this is going to end up like. I'm going to just mix that up lightly for right now. Oh my goodness. Nice strong smell of vinegar coming out of there. That's starting to look like a great grilling sauce already. We'll add a 1 cup chicken stock, low sodium. I didn't want to pick out the brand with the the regular brand because I want to be able to season this. I want to salt this and pepper it to taste, as they say in the cookbooks. So my sauce is coming along right nicely. I'm liking the look of the consistency already. One thing you might worry about with this is when you add all of those onions, you see it's a little bit runny, but it's going to thicken up when we add the 2 sugar products. Okay, so far, mustard, 1/2 cup of vinegar, 1 cup of mustard. I sauteed 1½ onions in a 1/4 cup of oil. And I've added 1 cup of chicken broth, soup stock. What they're asking for now is 4 teaspoons of your favorite Worcestershire or Worcestershire sauce, as they say up northeast, I guess. I don't know how they say it down in South Carolina, but I'm going to have to call it my South Carolina affiliate, Mike Miller, Petey Miller as we like to call him, and find out what the rule is. How do you pronounce that right there? 4 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. We'll fold that into the ingredient. The other ingredients in this wonderful sauce, we're going to fold that right in. Onions, mustard, soup stock, 1/2 cup of vinegar, 4 teaspoons of Worcestershire. I think it's about time, better bring that heat up a little bit, to add that 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And as you noticed, I probably threw in probably an extra 1/4 cup. And see if we can blend that. We don't want any big chunks of brown sugar. Now the recipe calls for brown sugar or honey, and it calls for 1/2 cup of each. Or what I've done is I've taken a 1/4 cup of honey and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. So we're blending that. You've got Vidalia onions, massive giant onions, jumbos. They're sweet already. So we're making a sauce that is mustard based, but it's also kind of sweet and tangy. We'll see how that stacks up against that red sauce that George is making. Okay, we've got almost everything in here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the balance of those 3 onions. And as you can see, these are not sauteed, these are raw. They're going into the sauce, and they'll add a little crunch to the actual sauce itself. And they will also maintain a more acidic flavor as compared to the sauteed onion. So we'll see how this works out in about 20 minutes. And I'm going to come in here every 5 or 6 minutes or so and give it a nice stir and check on the consistency. As you can see, my goodness, this is turning into quite a marinade. And as a barbecue sauce goes, you can put this on anything. We can get the consistency so it's not quite, it thickens up a little bit. You can basically add this to hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken, slab of ham, Polish sausage, bratwurst, metwurst. Add it to your ribs, which is what we're going to do today. Add it to your steaks. This is a great topping for a grilled steak. And we're going to grill some pork ribs. We're going to cheat a little bit and parboil them. And the reason we're doing that is because I want to make sure that nobody has any advantage by cooking the ribs in a different way. They'll be already cooked. We're going to finish them on the grill. We're going to mop them with some red sauce and some yellow sauce. And then we're going to find a local victim, blindfold them, and we're going to see here at Outdoor Cooking World whose sauce recipe comes out on top. Okay, so what we've done is we've completed the entire recipe. Just a quick wrap up. 3 onions, 3 large jumbo Vidalia onions, 8 ounces of mustard, 1/2 cup of vinegar, 1 cup of soup stock, 4 teaspoons Worcestershire, 1/4 cup brown sugar, 1/4 cup honey, or you could use one or the other. You could use 1/2 cup of honey, 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Blend it together, saute the onions first, add the other ingredients. I like to add some raw onion, half of it raw onion on top. Blend it together, turn the temperature down to low, and let it simmer for 20 minutes. Because I use such large onions, I'm going to end up with 4 cups of this wonderful marinade and sauce. And we hope you enjoy this same recipe. Remember to add some pepper at the end. Taste it, add some salt and pepper to your liking, and you're going to have the most wonderful mustard-based sauce. South Carolina is going to be proud of you.